Welcome to the Effortless Swimming podcast. My guest today is Quang Pham, and I got in touch with Quang recently because he's had some really good improvements in terms of his time, and so I thought it'd be useful to have you on to share what you've done to see these improvements in your speed. So, welcome to the podcast.
Great. It's great to be here.
And so, do you want to talk about where your times were in March and where you're currently at, and then maybe just some of those things that you've changed in the last couple of months to get where you're at now?
All right, sure. So I actually start swimming in just January this year. So I just started at breaststroke and progressively moved to freestyle. So in mid-March, I want to have like a benchmark, something that I can improve on. So I look at my CSS in mid-March. So the timing was 2:25 in short course meters. And also I think at that time I couldn't swim for long distance. So I couldn't swim 500 meters or so on. So that was my starting point. So I start to look around and see what are the changes that I could make to improve my techniques. So then I saw your 5 days cash challenge, right? And I took that. So basically, I just followed the course. But actually, I took like 8 sessions to finish the course because I noticed that there's some. I noticed that my left side was a lot weaker than my right side. So I basically spent 3 more sessions on, I think, day 1, day 3, and day 5 to kind of improve my techniques, because those sessions, they involve drills that works on only one side, and that's what my weakness, right? So I think it was the start of May. Before I took the challenge, I tried to swim 500 meters, and I swim a couple of hundreds to see where I was at. So my 500 meters time was 12 minutes, a bit more than 12 minutes on the long course meters. And the 100 meters average at I think 225 something, 225. So after 8 sessions of doing the cash challenge, I took the same test again. I swam 500 meters and a couple of hundreds. So the timing for the 500s I reduced to, I think, 10:55, and the couple hundreds, I think on average it was 2 minutes. Yeah. So I basically took like 20 seconds off the hundreds.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And what do you feel like? What do you feel like made the difference for you with this speed? What about your stroke had changed?
Yeah, actually so the first thing I feel that my I can pull with my forearm, not just my palm. So that was a big change. So I could feel the water a lot more. So what happened was my stroke count per 100 decreased a lot, and yeah, it's also reflected in my SWOT score. So those are some like noticeable changes. And also one thing is I feel a lot more comfortable doing the 500s. So before taking the test, I was like gas out after 500. And now after the test, like I could swim 500 a lot more easy, and I also try to swim longer distance, right? So I try to jump to 700, and recently I could do like 1 kilometers nonstop. Yeah.
Yeah, right. What do you think it's become easier for you? Do you think it's because you've got more propulsion now because of a better catch, or is there something else that has changed to make it feel a lot easier?
Looking back at this, I think definitely more proportions is one thing, and the second part is I think I got the right techniques. So I think so basically what was I had a minor shoulder shoulder injury on my left. So my left shoulder is not as flexible as my right shoulder. So before the challenge, right, I kind of cheat myself. So the left stroke is kind of fast to get myself back to the right stroke. So that I didn't notice. So when I took the challenge, like the first drill, arm the arm entry drill, where I kind of isolate my right arm and do the left arm entry, I noticed that immediately I sank like a rock. So, but that's I focus on improving it. So I got some rotations, and I think that's just make the stroke feel easy on me. Yeah, so I just could just swim more. Yeah.
So yeah, you felt you were too flat before because of the way that you were entering the water, and then changing the entry to be fingertips first, a little bit earlier, was allowing you to rotate side to side, and that really helped just feel a whole lot easier.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the course is just amazing. But what works best for me are the drills that like works on one side only. So the one hand entry, the one arm scoop, and one arm freestyles. So those just I think really works really well. It basically it improved my left stroke. Yeah.
Yeah, great. And I see it a lot actually, particularly it's more oftentimes the stroke that when you breathe to the side, let's say you breathe to the right, the left arm is often the arm that's not going to have as good a catch, because that's when they sometimes over rotate and their arm goes very deep. And so for a lot of people, there's so much opportunity, at least on one arm, to improve their catch, whereas one side's often pretty good. And if that's 50% of your strokes, there's a lot of room for improvement there, which it sounds like it's made a big difference, which is fantastic. And just for I'm curious, what got you into the pool in January to start swimming? Because it's not something that you've done as a kid by the sounds of it. So what got you into the pool and started on this path?
Yeah, sure. So so actually it starts last year. So I had an injury last year, like February, where I fell off the stairs and broke my back, broke my heels. So I basically had to stay home for like 2 months. I couldn't do exercise a lot. So after 2 months, we got the Corona pandemic, and Singapore went to a kind of a lockdown state. So I had to stay home for another like 4 or 5 months. So basically, I lost the motivation to do exercise for like more than half a year. So like after the lockdown, I look at my physical state, and I was not in a good shape, and this really affect my mental health as well. So I need some changes. So I was looking for some form of exercise that I can do, and the exercise need to be like not so intense because of my injury, and swimming was one option back then. So I started swimming back in I think August 2020. So I just started going to the swimming pool, and I think over time I just realized that swimming makes me feel better, makes me feel great. So basically, I feel better after leaving the pool compared to when I just went in the pool. So at first I swim like 2 times a week, and just I start to increase the session like every 3 times a week, 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week, because it make me just feel better. It make me like improve my fitness and so on. Yeah. So at the end of 2020, I had a chance to look back at my year. So I see that since swimming has just been an important part, so I just really enjoy doing it. So I decide to like maybe we can focus more on it, like not just for losing weight, gaining fitness, but maybe getting improving at it. So on January this year, I just spend more time swimming. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. can 100% relate to feeling better after swimming. I mean, I'm swimming 3 times a week at the moment, which isn't a huge amount compared to what I've done in the past. But those 3 sessions, when I get out and I'll do them in the morning, like I just feel, all right, I'm ready to start the day. And you've had that physical exercise and a bit of exhaustion there. And there's something about just hearing the water come over your ears and your shoulders and hearing the water for an hour and a half and just spending some time. It's just like, it's real meditation in a way. And it's so good for mental health as well. So can completely relate to that. And seeing how much you've improved in such a fairly short period of time, I can really see you continuing that improvement, because it's so short that you've actually been swimming. So you talked about your CSS. You wrote this in the email this morning that your CSS pace was it 220 or 225, and it's down to 210 now.
Yeah. Sorry.
So watching that pace come down. So they that CSS pace, I don't think we'll be too far away from getting under the 2-minute mark, which would be it's kind of that next step, isn't it? It's that next part of the journey. And what for you? What do you feel like? Where's the next improvement lie for you?
Oh, I think for now I'm still working on improving my left stroke, because I think for the catch challenge I only spent until now it's only 3 weeks, so still a lot of room for improvement to catch up with the right side. So that would be my immediate focus for now. And in the meantime, I'm also looking for what is the next step to do. So that part I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. One of the things that I'm about to put together, there's an 8-week course that'll have sort of workouts and stuff that'll cover all the parts of the stroke. So that's going to be inside the membership in June. So that's kind of outside of the catch. It's going to work on breathing and body position and each part of it. So because I've had that question from a lot of people who've gone through the 5-day challenge, is we've had some awesome results from it, and now they want it for other parts of the stroke, like better body position and so on. So that's going to be the next thing. But I'm great to hear how much you've improved in that time. So and it's all pretty new too. Like I'm guessing this is kind of like your first, it's not even formal swim coaching, but this is the first time you've sort of had some sort of, I guess, structure to the way you're going about your swimming. And so it's with another few months practice, even just on the catch alone, I can see it really, really changing. Is this the first sort of thing you've done for your swimming?
Yeah, this is definitely this is my first time having like some of the coaching. So when I just started, I didn't have any structure. So get into the swimming pool, try to swim, like just for fitness. Yeah. So when I just I was looking to improve my swimming to get more out of my sessions, and I just start to look for different resources.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks very much for sharing that. I know you talked about it just before the call that you've just gone into a soft lockdown there in Singapore. So hopefully you can get to the pool as much as you still like to. But it'll be over soon enough, and you can just continue that improvement. So I appreciate you being on the podcast and sharing what you've gone through over the last couple of weeks, because I've got no doubt people can probably relate. And is there anything else that you want to mention, or is that
actually when I got the membership, I actually found some very useful tip in the membership area, but it's not included in the catch challenge, but it's very I think relevant. So I think maybe like the site was old and you forgot a bit about something, but I think one of the first thing in the membership area I found is that you mentioned that we should initialize the catch with the ring and the pinky fingers. I think that tip was very, very useful.
That's interesting.
But I couldn't find it in the 5 days catch challenge. Yeah, so I think that's very something very useful, and it's just like a minor change that have like a lot of impact. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's you're right. I didn't mention that part in the 5-day catch challenge because there's although I think for a lot of people that's been something that's helped them tremendously. And I got this from I think it was from Eni Jones, she's another swim coach who I've had on the podcast a few times. So if you put your hand on a desk, and when you press down with say your first finger, you push down, feel what muscles you use, okay, and then do it with your middle finger, and then eventually do it with your fourth and fifth finger, the outside fingers. And you find that when you do that, you engage your lats a whole lot better with the fourth and fifth finger. And so when you go through the catch, if you can sort of feel for this outside part of the hand, try and hold the water there and sort of on the outside, it tends to engage the lats a lot better compared to if you're trying to like put that pressure on near the thumb or that first finger. So that's interesting. It's that's good feedback, and something that I forget to talk about because there's so much to cover in a lot of these things. But it's good to hear that has helped you. So yeah, I appreciate that a lot, and good luck for the next few months. And I'm looking forward to seeing where you get to.
Yeah, thank you so much.